Hello, once again, Super Potters. His name is Aaron, and he makes a better window than a door.
His name's Tommy, and he speaks for the trees.
And you're listening to the SuperPod Saga.
Tommy, that was. Do you know what the Lorax is? Have you ever watched or read the Lorax?
No, I've never watched or read it.
Oh, okay. Well, my thing was a Lorax reference. Never mind.
I don't read or watch anything created by doctors.
He's a man of spirituality.
Ugh, sounds like one of those. I don't even know what I'm saying. That's right. The SuperPod Saga, where the podcast about video games. Thank you for joining us today. Can we trademark that? Can we trademark the podcast for video games?
Just the penultimate podcast for video games.
If you're a first-time listener, thanks for joining us. This is the podcast where Aaron and I bring a different video game topic to the table, and then we discuss it, and you all listen.
That's right. We're the SpaghettiOs of podcasts. We're like... SpaghettiOs is like that one little treat for yourself where you're just like, I'm not feeling the best, or like I don't have, a lot of money at the moment, but ooh, SpaghettiOs. Yeah, all right.
And if we're the SpaghettiOs of podcasts, then our guests are the meatballs. And our meatball today is Jason from the Dual Sense podcast. Hey, Jason, thanks for being our meatball today.
Hey, guys, I appreciate that. First of all, spaghetti and meatball is wonderful. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. I'm glad I'm not the SpaghettiO and Frank's or whatever. That's garbage. So thank you for letting me be the meatball. And, we're what I call podcast friends, but today we're taking our relationship to a more intimate level. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
We've got a candlelight setup with SpaghettiOs and meatballs.
I've even mailed Jason what is it called? A promise ring. I've mailed him a promise ring. It'll be there in 2 days.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be sitting on my front stoop waiting for the Amazon Prime guy.
You're just sitting on with your hands and your head in your hands, like resting on your chin. You're like,
no Prime guy today.
Your head perks up and you're like, and then he just goes past and you go back to pouting.
Yep.
Well, on the topic of like SpaghettiOs and Frank's, have you ever had that like canned beanies and weenies or whatever it's called?
Not a fan of that. That's
not great. No, it's not. You don't need it.
No, definitely not. No one needs it.
No, I don't know why it's a thing.
Jason, tell the listeners about your podcast and about yourself and what video games you like.
Yeah, sure. So I co-host a PlayStation news podcast called the DualSense Podcast. Our shtick is that we do it all in under 90 minutes every week. We're kind of the opposite of some of the more long-form podcasts that do it. So that's what we do. We post new episodes every Monday. I also am a writer for GamingNexus.com. There I review video games and write about news, etc. So I've been doing that for a little over a year now, which is a pretty cool gig. An unpaid gig, but get free games out of it. So that's fun. And as far as video games, I like a little bit of everything with the exception of like Japanese RPGs or things like that. Those never really click with me, or really like long form RPGs in general. Big fan of like action adventure games. My favorite game ever is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
So that gives you any idea.
Oh, you guys are best friends now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, Tommy, do you like the first game more or the second game more?
It changes based on the day and how I'm feeling, but either one of them could
based on
absolutely be number one.
Based on the position of the moon in accordance to the position of I almost said Saturn, not Saturn. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows that Saturn plays the biggest role in Red Dead Redemption.
Who is Saturn?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Where can people find the podcast on the internet and social media and stuff?
Yeah, so on social media, the artist formerly known as Twitter, we're at the DualSense Pod. We're pretty much the same on all the social media. Just search the DualSense Podcast. You can find us. YouTube channel is the same, so you can just listen wherever you fancy it. Believe it or not, a lot of people like to listen to podcasts on YouTube, apparently. So we've discovered that since they've changed over to the new podcast feature on there. So that's kind of cool. But the DualSense Pod or the DualSense Podcast, and you can find us.
Excellent. Check it out, people. Go listen or watch on YouTube if that's what you want to do.
I have listened. I listened on Good Pods.
Oh, nice.
A few months ago or so. I haven't touched Good Pods in a long time, but
yeah.
He listened to one episode. He listened to one episode and was like, "That's enough."
Most people do, to be honest. It's fine.
But we're here to talk about video games. And what is our video game topic today, Aaron?
Well, I mean, people can find us at superpodsaga.com if they need to. Previous episodes, blogs, social medias, our Patreon if you're so inclined, or if you feel so inclined. But yeah, we're talking about the best unlockables in video games, or our favorite unlockables, whatever.
That's a good one. That's a good one. How about to start though? We give the people a voice and read what people said on Discord about their favorite unlockables.
Let's go.
Yay, I'll start. That's right, the SuperPod Saga Discord. You can join it and answer our questions, and we read them on the air. That's what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, let's see. Adam, enter the survival horror, says the fire knife in Resident Evil 3, is the R stand for Revelations?
Remake.
Rebooted?
Yeah.
Redone. Magical girl transformation in Silent Hill 3.
Oh, that's a good one.
And the Patriot from Metal Gear Solid 3. Did you just?
Oh, that's on my list as well.
Did you just add an emote to it while you were reading it, Aaron? I saw it go from 1 to 2.
I didn't see the magical girl thing in there. I saw the fire knife thing a while back, but like, yeah, the magical girl one.
I'll give it 1 too.
That's such a cool fucking unlockable in like any survival horror game.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
It's a magical girl transformation for the main character in Silent Hill 3, who is what is it? She's the adopted daughter of the main character from the first Silent Hill game. Is that right, Jason? Is that right?
You're asking the wrong person. Silent Hill? No, sir.
Okay, yeah, we are definitely the same people. So if Aaron, just pretend if I wouldn't know it, then Jason wouldn't know it.
So yeah, we're 2 for 2 so far. Silent Hill. Listen, the furthest I got in Silent Hill was when you go down in the first game. You get down early on. You get down the back alleyway, and there's a guy like crucified at the end, and then you turn around. There's all the fucking. Sorry, can you curse on your podcast?
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah, as much as you want. You could say you can say as many fucks as you want, buddy.
Good. Good. So you turn around, there's all the fucking demons behind you. That's when I turned the PS1 off. Pretty sure it's PS1. Turn that shit right off. But
fuck this trash.
It's almost like SpaghettiOs with Franks.
Terrifying.
Well, no. Okay, so I forget how you unlock it, but like when you do unlock it, you unlock this special costume for the main character. And she does this cool, like whenever you, I forget how you do it, but she does this cool like anime, I guess like magical girl transformation, like you would see in like Sailor Moon or some shit. And
nice.
Then she gets this cool little wand or something that she can like blow up enemies with or something.
That sounds like a video game.
That's a game, sir. Another game would be, or whatever. Real Dave Jackson, he says Shrek and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That's such a good one.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater had such good unlockables. You can say so many people from those.
Yeah, that was. Oh, go ahead. No, that was one of my picks. I'm gonna have to look for a different one while you go over this.
Yeah, we can't be on the same level as the listeners. Adam, Revival and Extinction said the clock in Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, that's a good one. What was his name? Clock. Diddy Kong.
I don't know what that is.
It's
Do I play video games?
I don't know.
Yeah, same.
His name is TT, by the way.
Oh,
stands for Turtle Tits. Sorry, listeners. I'm misinforming these poor people.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Tits.
Oh, mutant tits. Anyway,
stop.
No, Adam, Revival and Extinction. No, my bad. Anubis Hero. Anubis Hero. He says, NGL's not gonna lie. Tommy Gunn from Resident Evil 4. Yeah, the Chicago typewriter. That's a good one. That's a really, really good one.
In Crash Bandicoot 3, one of the bosses in the manual said he uses a Tommy gun, and I was like, "There's a gun named after me." When I was a kid, I was like, "That must be the best gun."
Oh my god. Okay, this is a huge, like, gigantic throwback. Okay, so my initials are AK. So in school, people used to call me AK-47.
Nice.
Why didn't they ever call you the Tommy gun, Tommy?
Because you
could have been unstoppable in high school.
No, I could have been, but instead, Aaron, they called me Boner. Because originally it was T-Bone, and then because kids are dumb high schoolers, they're like, oh, Boner, haha, let's call him Boner.
I didn't know that. I didn't know anybody ever called you Boner.
It was more in the sports realm.
All I remember is mine, and I think James Saban. He was just Saban Tooth or like
Saban
Tooth.
That's a good one.
Nice.
And then Sam was McMuffin.
Yep. Josh was the cube
What the fuck?
because he was shaped like a cube. We were kids.
Oh shit.
Where were we? Oh, Bill.
After Anubis Hero.
Bill, GNC Podcast Network said Knights of the Round.
Oh my god, that one's such a fucking bitch to unlock. But boy, is it. The fucking summon animation, I'm pretty sure, is like 13 minutes.
Oh, I was going to say 9 minutes. I was underselling it. Wow.
I think it might be 9. Something like that.
No, I was just guessing.
Okay. Yeah, it's ridiculously long, and it's just dudes wailing on these fucking enemies, just fireballs and like spears and like all sorts of shit, and then when they're done, like the screen is just empty and you win. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Speaking of pretty cool, Adam Revival and Extinction, he's back.
He's
back for another Heap and Helpin'. He says Darth Maul's ship in Rogue Squadron 64. I don't know what his ship looks like.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Darth Maul has a ship?
I only ever saw him get cut in half, and then, yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Then it looks like we got to go down to Rick. Pixel Project Radio says Ness in Smash 64 and Hornet the car in Fighters Mega Mix.
That's a good one. Have you heard of that one, Tommy?
Yeah, I've heard of Ness.
Oh, I'm talking about Fighters Mega Mix.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So yeah, Fighters Mega Mix. It's a fighting game for the old Sega Saturn, and one of the characters is it's called Hornet, and it's just like NASCAR looking car, and he stands upright with his wheels being his like legs and feet in like a Rayman kind of manner where they're like detached, and his hands are his front two tires, and yeah, it's just a car fighting people, and it's adorable.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It is. Here we go. Nomad, the Retro Wildlands. He says the epilogues at the end of the original Resident Evil 3. As a kid, I loved playing through the game multiple times to get a different epilogue that featured my favorite gaming characters. That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Deadbeat Punk said I unlocked a pretty nasty case of hemorrhoids by playing Tiny Tower for too long on the toilet. The Fierce Deity mask for Majora's Mask was pretty cool too, and didn't require elastic bands or pushing anything back up yourself to recover from.
Damn, I love him so much.
He wins. That's the best one.
The Fierce Deity mask. I've never heard of Tiny Tower, but the Fierce Deity mask is it's a bitch and a half to unlock, and that's cool. Hocham, Hoocham. What's another pronunciation? Hacham. There we go. Hacham. Unlocking Rob in Mario Kart DS was fucking sick because I didn't even because I didn't know he existed at all. I was just trying to finish all the 150cc mirror matchup races. Didn't even know what Rob was at the time until I saw some YouTube videos later on of people playing the 2 games he was in. And then when I realized his special cart was from one of those games, I thought it was so cool. I love that little robot. Still my favorite one to use. Felt OP though since he was so heavy.
Yeah, I didn't know what Rob was until he was in Smash, and I learned all about the history of Rob.
I think my first experience with Rob was also Mario Kart DS. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Butcher 21 says, finding the skulls was always fun in Halo. I loved unlocking the Grunt birthday party skull, LOL.
That's a cool one too. Those are also a pain in the ass to find.
They're fun. They are.
Yeah, they're fun though.
A true man of my heart, Bachwheel. He says, I loved unlocking the different weapons in Soulcalibur 2. Yeah, I spent way too much time in my childhood doing all of that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, Aaron. Way too much time. You could have been playing sports.
Yeah, you nerd. Could have been playing sports.
I did baseball for like a week, and then I quit because there was too much running involved.
Yeah, same. You should only run from cheetahs and bears.
That's true. That is true.
That's true. We don't have much of those in the Midwest, thankfully. Bears every once in a while.
Yeah. Most. That's it. That's all.
That's it. That's like we said before. If you want your voice heard, join the Discord and answer the question. But now you get to hear from us. It's our turn. The big boys are coming into the room. We're stomping our feet around, and we're going to talk about video games. Aaron, this is your topic, right?
Yep, I'm gonna start us off with a big fat bang. Like if you microwaved a turkey or whatever, I don't know, deep fried a turkey. There we go. So yeah, joke weapon, fucking Bachwheel kind of mentioned a little bit, but like the joke weapons from Soulcalibur 3 were way cooler than the ones in 2, kind of, because they had funny sound effects when you hit an enemy with them. So in Soulcalibur 3, there were just tons of different weapons that you can unlock for each character, and each having like a different effect, like giving you more attack, less defense, more soul charge, whatever shit like that. But the joke weapons basically like underpowered you. They'd be like less attack, less defense. Oh, but here's a funny sound effect. So like one of the best ones is Valdo. He's this like mummy assassin contortionist guy. Like he's just wrapped up in bandages. He has like no eyes, I'm pretty sure. He just does like the crab walk everywhere. And instead of he usually has like claws for his weapon, but instead he has tambourines. And so when you hit an enemy with his weapon, it just makes like tambourine noises where it's like ching 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 or whatever sound a tambourine would make. Songmina usually has this what the fuck is the word for? I think it's like it's a gigantic spear with like a blade at the end. I think it's called like a
Pike.
Bardiche. Yeah, pike. Yeah, there we go.
No, I'm just guessing.
That sounds right. But instead of having that, she has a broom, and anytime you hit an enemy with it, it makes like a chicken bok 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 sound, which is pretty cool.
It's
Taki,
so silly.
I know. Taki, she's this ninja lady character, and her joke weapon are these tobacco pipes, just like little corncob pipe looking things. And whenever she hits an enemy with those, it makes like a choo choo like train sound, like choo choo. And when you land multiple hits in a row on an enemy, there's like all these overlapping choo choo sounds, and it's like choo 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 choo. or Siegfried usually has these like gigantic, intimidating fucking two-handed swords, like Zweihander and shit like that. Instead, he has this his joke weapon is this old, like battered fucking oar, like that you row a boat with. And when you hit an enemy with it, it makes like seagull sounds, like ah ah or shit like that. They're all just so. There's way. Mitsurugi, he has this like, I think it's called like a souvenir sword, which is just like a fake wooden sword. And whenever you hit an enemy with that, it makes like a dull clunk sound, which is fucking hilarious. Just doing this sweet like wind up to do a sweet slash attack, and then just clunk. It's
Were these in? You said that they were better in Soulcalibur 2. I don't remember any in Soulcalibur 2.
3 is what these ones are from. Okay. 2 also had joke weapons, but they didn't have the cool sound effects.
That's probably why I don't remember them.
I know 2 had they just kind of like looked kind of gross. Like the character Maxie, who usually has nunchucks, his joke weapon was called Termite Snack, and it was just these like really gross looking sticks connected by a chain. And yeah, they didn't have the they just made the usual sound effects in that game. I can't think of any. Oh wait, Astaroth, this like big, huge, like 500-pound pile of freshly ground man meat. He usually has this giant fucking axe, and instead he has this like toy hammer, if I'm remembering right. And whenever you hit an enemy with it, it makes like the most delicate, like childlike squeak sound. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is perfect.
Those are fun. I need to play more fighting games. I think Soulcalibur 2 might have actually been the last fighting game I played.
Oh, wow.
Man. Yeah, 3 was... It's one that people tend to hate because it was only on PlayStation 2. It's the only one that's only been... Or it's the only one that's been exclusive to a specific platform. But yeah, it's pretty good if you got a PlayStation 2. Because it has this single-player mode that's like... It's like a turn-based strategy game, except when you enter into combat with somebody, you're just playing Soulcalibur, like you're just fighting like you were in Soulcalibur. It's so pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know my pick, Aaron?
Hey, yeah.
It's Peppino from Vampire Survivors. Do you know about Peppino, Aaron?
I don't remember any of the names, but I'm going to look him up real fast.
No, don't look him up. Let me describe it. Don't look him up.
Okay.
So, Vampire Survivors is a game with currently 58 different playable characters.
Oh
my
Lord.
God.
Yeah, they keep adding them, and they get like crazy. Like you can start off like super overpowered with crazy weapons that do all sorts of cool stuff. And so there was for unlocking one. I don't remember if I looked it up or if I found it, but you have to be the dog and attack or heal plants up to like 100,000, and then you unlock Peppino, which is a tree. It is just a tree.
Jesus. Just a maple tree.
His movement speed is negative 100% because he can't move.
Slings maple syrup though, like a motherfucker.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
He has no moving animation because he doesn't.
Because he's a fucking tree.
And he uses the upgraded garlic, which has that halo around you, which damages enemies that come into it.
Mhm.
So you can technically try and do a run with him, but it was such a fun moment of being like, let's see what this tree does, and then being like, I can't move. It just sits there. You can pick like the speed boost one to start off with to give you a little bit of movement, but it's still just inching along, like as slow as you could possibly imagine. And that is just such a fun thing to unlock and have the opportunity to play as, because like I said, there's so much of it is just overpowered crazy zaniness and also a tree.
I'm looking at his page on the Vampire Survivors wiki, and it looks like you can unlock a form where he becomes a Christmas tree.
Yes, wonderful.
That's beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Thank you, Aaron.
Hey, Jason.
Yes,
about you?
yes, sirs.
Yeah.
Let's see. My first one is the Infinite Rocket Launcher from Resident Evil 5 specifically.
Yes.
Although I think it's in multiple Resident Evil games, but believe it or not, the only one that I played is 5, which is like the one, which is funny because like that's the one that's like the most derided by fans. Is like, oh, it's just an action game, which it totally is. Don't get me wrong, but I think if I remember correctly, this was the first one that came to mind, and I think that you had to complete the game in under 5 hours to unlock the rocket launcher, if I remember correctly. And I played that game totally in co-op with a friend, and which tells
going.
So we beat the game normally, but then we were like, no, we need the rocket launcher. So we did a speed run in quotes in 5 hours to unlock the rocket launcher. And I think if I remember, you could just like toggle after finishing the game. You could just toggle infinite ammo on for everything anyway, maybe. And
right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think so. It basically makes you a god. It turns God mode on for Resident Evil 5 when you have the rocket launcher, infinite ammo, and it just totally changes the game. If people thought it was an action game before, it really is an action game after you get the infinite rocket launcher. But the fun, it's just stupid fun. And I think if I remember right as well, there were other things that you could unlock for speed running faster than that. So it was almost like one of these like tiered things where you had to beat the game in under 5 hours, get the rocket launcher, and then use that and infinite ammo to beat the game in under like 3 or 2 hours to unlock something else, if I remember right. I wish I could remember what it was. But it was almost like this stacked, speed running that incentivized you to speed run the game to unlock more funny, cool shit at the end of the game. And even playing that game co-op was somewhat tough. I mean, for me anyway at the time, and my friend, I don't know why. Maybe you had to beat it on hard mode looking back on it in under 5 hours, but so that might explain that. But I remember once you finally get the rocket launcher, you're like, all right, we're going to do this again. And you just fucking blow everybody away. And I don't think you could take any damage from it yourself. So like you could shoot it at your feet, I think, and you wouldn't take any damage. So even if you had a zombie or whatever, like right on you, you could just blow them away, which was great. So that was the first one that came to mind for me. And one other thing that really stands out about that game is, have you guys ever played 5? I'm assuming so. Or
Too scary. No,
I've played it.
Too scary. So do you remember the towards the end of the game, and I guess spoiler alert potentially, but there's the scene where you're fighting Wesker in like the cargo ship, and it's like towards the end of the game, and you're fighting him before it like crash lands or something like that. There's a quick time event.
Oh yeah,
in that scene that it comes out of nowhere, and it's like because it's like a cut scene, and he's like talking shit, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you, and you're all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, it's just a quick time event, and it's the fastest quick time event I can ever recall in a video game. And I missed it because I was just watching a cutscene, and he spun my head around 180 and killed my character, whichever one I was playing at. So like it was the most brutal quick time event I've ever seen in my life. It's probably on YouTube, but anyway, so I got the rocket launcher just to go back to kill Wesker in like 2 shots. So
Yes.
that's the first one that came to mind for me.
That's a good one. Anything that makes the game like infinitely more fun,
Yes.
good unlockable.
That's so funny because like I know in Resident Evil 4, not like maybe in the remake, but like in the original, you just beat the game once and you get the infinite rocket launcher. But I think it does have like splash damage and shit. So like if you hit Ashley or yourself or whatever. But I remember you could unlock a lot of other really cool guns by fully upgrading different guns, like the bow for Sheba.
Yeah.
The fucking Hydra triple barrel shotgun and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Those were so fucking cool.
They were. Totally changed the game too, which I guess is the point, but you know, it was fun.
Yeah, like you said, people shit on that game for being too actiony, but like it's a great fucking multiplayer, great co-op experience. It's just so much goofy shit. Like when Chris is making sweet love to that boulder, and like Sheva's just hanging on for her fucking life. She's gonna die any minute now, and Chris is like embracing this fucking boulder and just punching the shit out of it and stuff.
Yeah, it's corny as fuck. Also, are they gonna? I mean, is that the next one?
That's what I was just gonna ask. That
they remake or remaster or whatever. I mean, I don't know how good of a shape that game still is in, but was that PS3 or is that PS4? Surely not.
Yeah, that was
PS4.
PS3.
I think it was 3. Yeah,
it was 3. Yeah,
I think I actually played it on Xbox 360, but anyway.
I'm surprised they haven't done anything with Code Veronica yet. I mean, I don't.
I wonder if they'll I wonder if they'll avoid the Resident Evil 5 problem by going back to older ones. They haven't done yet. We'll see.
Speaking of seeing, how about we kind of already talked about it, but we'll talk about more Tony Hawk guest characters because there's a lot of really fucking dumb ones. Like real Dave Jackson said earlier, fucking Shrek for some odd reason. Insomnia or no, who makes the Tony Hawk? It was Neversoft, right?
Neversoft.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Neversoft was like, hey, what about Shrek? And then they were like, yes, and then his fucking skateboard is just this piece of fucking rotten shit wood. Oh my god, then they had shit tons of Marvel characters like Wolverine, Spider-Man. He could use his webs for different tricks, like he would swing everywhere, and like
that's cool.
They had Iron Man, Jango Fett, fucking Darth Maul. Hey, shout out to Darth Maul from earlier, the ship or whatever. Darth Maul, he had his lightsaber and stuff.
Yep.
What else is there? Gene Simmons. I forget what game he was in, but Gene Simmons. Oh, Eddie, the mascot for Iron Maiden. He was in one.
This is ridiculous.
There was, I forget which game it was, but you unlocked this character that was just like a hand. It was just a hand standing upright on like 2 fingers or legs or whatever, and then like its arms. I forget.
Like a human hand.
Yeah.
Or like Glover.
Like a human hand.
Oh, like you were okay. That's fun.
Like you were playing with one of those like little tech deck skateboards, but instead it was an actual hand moving on its own. Like you played as the hand doing the tricks. There was that one character. It was the Neversoft eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look it up real fast. I forget if it was just like an eyeball on a human body. Yeah. Okay, so it was this like disgusting looking human body, and instead of like an actual head, it was just this big fucking eyeball, just like a big gigantic eyeball.
That's all right.
That's a character. Yeah, Tony Hawk games had some really cool stuff, and they really rewarded you for your time for like unlocking everything and doing whatever. They gave you some pretty fucking sweet unlockables. Or you could be one of those, I guess, fun haters that uses the unlock all cheat and just fucking rips all of the replayability and fun out of the game. But I mean, I guess no, if you've already played it and you just want to.
Aaron's throwing eggs at the Game Shark offices.
In action replay. Fuck you for taking out the fun.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you how many of those stupid candies that I used that I got in years ago, decades ago, with the little Game Shark attachment or whatever that thing was.
Dude, Oh, I know. Yep.
The-
Infinite rare candies, infinite master
Rare
balls.
candies. Thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tony Hawk was great.
You can. I'm not sure if it's an unlockable, but in the new one that you can play as the old Tony Hawk and old everyone else is so cool.
Oh,
Fun.
that's cool.
Old Tony. I like when he. That'd be so funny if like when he lands, you just hear like and his entire body collapses and he's just dead and the game ends.
Geriatric Tony Hawk.
That's absolutely going to exist when they remake it again in 10 years. He's going to get progressively older Tony Hawk models.
Until like when he finally dies and it's just like nothing. There's just the skateboard sitting there because it's like, well, I don't know what you expect. He's dead. Oh boy.
The music is just bum 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 bum.
No way. Tony Hawk would have something way fucking cooler at his funeral. Like he would have I don't know what Tony Hawk listens to, but like they would have just one of the soundtracks in the games.
It'd be cool though.
You'd have Offspring playing during his wake. Everybody's eating like open-faced ham sandwiches and jamming to some Offspring or like Santeria or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Shout out to open-faced sandwiches at funerals, by the way. It's the cheapest option.
Underrated
Wow.
sandwich.
Big fan, huh?
Overrated. I'm tired of that shit. Go, Tommy.
Speaking of Neversoft, a game that makes me Neversoft is Into the Breach. my favorite.
That's why they call you Boner.
That the squad that you can unlock squads by paying the in-game currency. The one that I had the most fun with was the Flame Behemoths. They specialize in setting everything on fire. You start with the passive ability of being protected from fire so you don't take fire damage. And everything you do just sets things on fire. The flame mech has a flamethrower. The meteor mech has an artillery that sets things on fire. And if you level it up, it can fart out fire from the back and set the tiles behind on fire. And then you have a swap mech, which just teleports. It swaps places with something. You're like, oh, that's interesting. That's not really flame adjacent. But then you realize you move the swap mech into the fire, swap places with an enemy, bam, it's on fire.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Or just drop them in water, too, because they can't swim. So just hover over some water and swap places with them. Way overpowered. But it was so fun because, like, up until you unlock them, you kind of have to be careful about... It's more like the bugs are attacking and you're trying to stop the damage. You're trying to mitigate the damage as much as possible. And then when you get the flame mechs, it's just like, nah, set fire to everything. Just put everything on fire. And being at the end of the stage and seeing everything ablaze. And then when the mechs go away and you see the little speech bubbles from the people in the buildings, they're like, they saved us. We love the flame mechs. As everything around them is burning to the ground. There's so many good squads in that game. What a great game!
It's my favorite puzzle game. That's not a puzzle game, but like,
yeah.
I really like. It's called Blitzkrieg, where it's got the one like thunder whip guy.
Oh yeah.
And you can chain it through.
Yep.
You can chain it through buildings or like through other enemies and shit. It's got the one hook guy where you can like pull an enemy, and that's really cool. Or the boulder mech, you can like toss a boulder at a motherfucker, or like. Throw it at like an emerging enemy, keep them from coming out. Or same with the hook guy too. Put them like right by an emerging spot and then hook an enemy and then kill an enemy with that. Oh my god, that game makes me also incredibly hard.
I need to go back to that game. What a great game!
It'll last longer than 4 hours. Call your doctor.
And it's on mobile
the
too.
Flame
If you have
Behemoth's
Netflix.
Doctor.
Have you played that game, Jason?
Yeah, I think just briefly. I feel like I played it on Switch. For a little bit, and it's pretty cool. It's like you said, it's a neat concept. I feel like it was like is it an isometric camera perspective? And it's like
yes,
okay, that's the same game I'm thinking of then. Yeah, it was neat. I just didn't spend a lot of time with it.
Speaking of games that make us hard, what's next, Jason?
Next is the Alien Blaster from Fallout 3.
Oh yes,
yeah, this was a super fun unlockable. Oh, I guess. Yeah, let's call it. It's an unlockable. I mean, that's what we're talking about. But it's more of like a discoverable, I guess, because the one thing that I can't remember for sure is I know that you found it at a downed UFO, a crashed UFO site. I think was in the base game. that you could find that. But in the DLC, the Mothership Zeta DLC, there, which was a whole storyline, obviously, but I think there was a unique version that the captain alien, whatever, like the head alien, he had a unique. I think they called it the Master Blaster, actually, if I remember. But it was a better version. But it essentially made every bullet a critical hit, and if you shot an enemy in the head, they disintegrated and it killed them in one shot. So it was essentially like everything was a one hit kill, but the ammo was somewhat limited. I think, if I remember correctly, I think you found like 100 or so like rounds at the crash site in the base game, but if you had the DLC, obviously you could get more. But I remember finding that, and this was like when you first would hear about things and then could go look them up on the internet as to where to find them. So finding that at the UFO site, and then spending the rest of my time disintegrating enemies by just doing the VAT system straight for the head, disintegrate. So it was a really cool unlockable weapon that was super, super OP.
That is a super fucking cool one. Yeah, because like, yeah, it was. Yeah, and then wasn't it like at the crash site you also saw like an actual dead alien just chilling right there too?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you did. He did. And I feel like if you had the DLC that you got abducted or something like that, like around the crash site, I can't remember exactly how it played out, but right. Yeah. So it was cool. Fallout 3, wonderful game, but that was Bethesda at some of their best work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even before that too. The what was it? The first DLC was like Operation Anchorage or whatever.
Yes,
like that was super cool too, because you were just in like a simulation, I think, of like the Anchorage War or whatever. Like,
yeah, it was like a Civil War type of thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think that's the same DLC.
It's you. It's you.
Okay. This one, I'm not sure. No, I guess this would be Unlockables. All the different recruitable characters in Chrono Cross, because there's a lot that you have to go out of your way to recruit, I guess, or unlock. Also, I accidentally jotted down Cross is crows, so it's going to be Chrono Crows from now on.
Oh yes, the crows are coming back.
Oh man, where the fuck do I even start? There's a lot that you have to go out. Normally in Chrono Cross, there's a lot of characters you just unlock by going through the story, and then there's one part in specific in the game where you kind of like branch out. Like there's this, what is it called? There's this mansion that you have to break into to find some item, and there's 3 different characters that you can have help you get into that place. Like there's one character where you just like ride a boat into the manor or whatever. There's another character that like I forget, whatever, but there's a bunch of character, and there's a bunch of characters that, like, depending on the choices that you make in the game, won't be available for that playthrough. So to get like every single character in Chrono Cross, you'll have to play the game like, I want to say 3 times.
Wow.
And there's even more that are like super pain in the ass to unlock. Like what is it? There's this one character whose name is Turnip, and he's just like, he's got a turnip for a head, and he's just like this little short knight guy. Basically, he's got a turnip for a head, and you have to basically find this like turnip bulb or turnip seed or whatever in one part of the game, and then you have to come back to a later part in the game and like plant the seed in this one specific spot that you wouldn't have known, like you wouldn't have known to plant a seed in, because it's just this like smoldering spot in this area that like was lit on fire or something, and then you go on through. Exactly. And then you go through the game, you come back, and you have to put something else on the spot where you buried the bulb or something, and then leave again and come back again, and bam, that turnip will grow into this like little night guy named Turnip. There's also another character early on in the game called Poshul, and it's this like not anthropomorphic, it's just like this pink dog creature. And what is it? You have to go to this restaurant in like the first village you start in the game to find this like bone, because like Poshul, when you talk to him, he'll be like, "Oh, I love bones. I really like bones." And he has this like stupid speech impediment because he's a dog with his tongue out. But you'd find this bone in the restaurant, and then you take it to Poshul, and he'd be like, "Oh my gosh, is that a bone?" And then he'll join you, and that's cool.
That is.
Oh, what else is there? The worst, the fucking worst is this. There's this skeleton clown called Skelly, and you first find his skull early on in the game. He'll tell you that like you need to find the rest of his parts, the rest of his body parts, and he'll join your party or your whatever. And so you'll go around the game and you'll find like his you'll find his angry scapula, a bag of mixed bones, his good backbone, sturdy ribs and shit like that. And then when you find all of his places, you take him to his grandma's house, and then he'll be assembled and join your party. But he sucks.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then there's what is it? There's this like sentient voodoo doll. I think his name is Juju, I think. There's this one. No, when you first go to the other world, you go to the basement of like the house that you used to live in, and this dude will be like praying and worshiping, and then you go get something and do whatever, and you're supposed to take it back to him and you unlock the character. But like again, it's one of those things that you wouldn't have known about if you didn't already play the game or look it up. It like some of them are just so out of the way and so yeah, I guess out of the way and like hard to even like think about. I don't know. There's a lot of really weird ones, but yeah.
My favorite thing about hearing you talk about Chrono Cross is I genuinely cannot even envision what any of this looks like in game.
Google it. It'll show you. They have like little in-game models.
No,
Google
I just
me,
mean like
bitch.
it just sounds so crazy and wild and off the wall.
Yeah.
How any of that fits into a single game.
I know, it's a lot of them, even though they are like bizarre and look cool and like you'd want to use them, a lot of them just suck. and that sucks ass. Like, yeah, the voodoo doll, Mojo is his name, by the way. He sucks. The clown Skelly, he sucks. Turnip sucks. Oh man, yeah.
Great at committing tax evasion, though.
Yeah,
Great at evading tax.
yeah, exactly. Yep. Ripping up all those documents and fighting the god Mayor Onion. Yeah.
Aaron, do you hear that?
What?
It's time for an ad break.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, Super Potters? Tommy here. I just want to give a big shout out to our patrons. They are all wonderful, stand-up fellows. Thank you, Adam, Jameson, Jared, and a novel console for your support. It genuinely means the world to Aaron and I to have such handsome, talented patrons. And I truly believe the universe will reward you in some karmic way for being a patron to SuperPod Saga. Thank you.
It's really important to stay hydrated. They say to drink 8 to 10 cups of water per day to stay properly hydrated, but sometimes that can be difficult to do and completely inconvenient, and most of us don't feel like carrying a gallon of water with us at all times. But that's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, or on long flights. Man, in Iowa, the summers can be brutal. 90 degrees and tons of humidity, and that just saps the energy and water right out of your system within just a few minutes. Luckily, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. It's very important to replace those electrolytes, you know? And I just love how quick and easy it is to use Liquid IV. You just get 1 packet and a bottle of water, and you just pour that packet into the bottle of water, shake the heck out of it, and bam, you are good to go. Since using Liquid IV, I've felt way more alert, active, and just plain better versus drinking water alone. My favorite flavors to go to are the Yuzu Pineapple Energy Multiplier and the Tropical Punch Hydration Multiplier. I can't get enough of those ones. And what makes them even better is, like I mentioned earlier, they're packed with 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. And again, 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. And they're non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy, which is just great. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code SuperPod Saga at checkout. That's 20% off anything when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code SuperPod Saga, SuperPod Saga at liquidiv.com. You have a great one, superstars. If you're a fan of coffee and you're looking for something different, I think we've got just the thing for you. That's Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee is not your usual coffee company. Of course, it's all sugar-free, gluten-free, all that stuff, because it's just coffee, nothing added to it. But they roast each batch of coffee beans to your order, and they've got just a bazillion different flavors to choose from. They've got your usual French vanilla, salted caramel, they've got Irish cream, of course they've got decaf, single origin coffees like Kenya, Guatemala, stuff like that, even what they call high voltage, which is extra strength, extra caffeine. But they have all sorts of other awesome kind of out of the box flavors. They've got ones like cotton candy, maple bacon, and even mint chocolate chip ice cream. And they're always coming up with new crossover flavors, like they've done a bunch for Nightmare Before Christmas, Indiana Jones, even Spider-Man, of all things. And they're also coming up with new seasonal flavors all the time. If this sounds right up your alley, feel free to use the link in our episode description and use coupon code SuperPodSaga at checkout to get 20% off your order. That's SuperPodSaga at checkout to get 20% off your order. And if you're not just in the market for coffee, you can also get some sweet mugs. They've got lots of cool shirts. They've got all sorts of different brewing equipment like French presses, stuff like that. Just head on over to bonescoffee.com, or again, use the link in our episode description and get 20% off. Get yourself a new interesting flavor and spice up your morning routine with Bones Coffee. I really hope you enjoy. I'm a really big fan of it, and I hope you find one that really hooks you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one.
Hey there, Super Podders. You may be wondering how Aaron and I, bumbling idiots that we are, managed to record, edit, and distribute our world-class podcast, the SuperPod Saga. The answer, dear listeners, is Zencastr. Let me tell you more. It is so easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen, knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. It's an all-in-one service! If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SuperPodSaga and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. I don't know, Aaron.
No, it's okay. Shit. Hey, Tom. No, we've done that already. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Aaron.
Do you like being able to hear things?
Yes, I do quite enjoy that.
Fuck, I don't know where I'm going with this. Well, now I can hear things. Now I can hear things worse. Introducing. Introducing. Fuck, this isn't a good one at all. Introducing cotton earplugs. No.
Aaron.
Fuck, man. I should have really prepared one beforehand.
I think that let me tell you, I've heard of this product that helps you hear better. You can hear things from 7,000 miles away. but it's very pinpointed. So it's like a satellite dish back in the 90s that you have to aim perfectly.
Oh,
You just have to aim and hope for the best.
what's that? What? Tell me your exact location in relative, close to where I am, northeast.
You're not going to need a cell phone anymore. You just have to pinpoint to where your friend is at. And then you can be like, "Hey, where are you at?" And hold on, let me get my ear pinpointer targeted on you. And then 4 hours later, you can get a pinpoint and they can tell you where they are.
Or you can get like a built-in radio transmitter built into your head, and then that way you can communicate over radio waves. But I mean, yeah, it'll take probably about 4 hours or longer to get to your friend. As long as you're tuned into the same frequency. It's got to be 107.0, not 107.8 or 0.5. It's got to be, otherwise it'll be a little bit fuzzy. It's got to be in that same frequency, that right direction. No rain at all. Fuck.
If there's any wind, it's not going to work. Even a light breeze, this is not going to work.
Rain, wind, too much
sunlight,
too cloudy, snow, anything at all. You name it. Your friend is stuck. They're dead. You'll never hear from them ever again.
In perfect weather conditions, if your cell phone is dead, if your car tires are flat, if you have no other option, this is going to be a great product for you.
And you know what? You can even sometimes listen to TV channels and those like weird cable or satellite music channels where like it just plays music over like a static image. Like that's cool. Right on. Yeah, I'll listen to some Toby Keith. Granted, I'm facing the like cardinal southwest and not any other direction. That's cool.
And daylight savings time really messes with everything too, so you can't use it for 6 months of the year.
What do we call this product? It's
long range high frequency audio helpers.
Hang on. Long range audio frequency helpers. That's LRAFA. LRAF. Or yeah.
LRAF.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for sponsoring the podcast.
No, hold on, Jason. What do you think of LRAF? What's your experience been like with them?
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's really helped me down in my lair, my podcasting lair, which doubles as my wife's art studio. So yeah, highly recommend. And Toby Keith, it's great for listening to Toby Keith.
Now,
post 9/11 Toby Keith, or pre 9/11 probably is the better version of Toby Keith, honestly.
Yeah, we can all agree to that.
When you say lair, it's not underground, is it? Right? It's just a room. Like
technically, it is underground. It is in the basement of my dwelling.
It's technically underground.
Oh man, hold on there. I don't know if you're going to be able to get a perfect reception down there. You're going to have to move maybe forward a few inches, depending on what direction you're facing.
Yeah, I'll get by one of the two windows that are in my basement with the vines growing outside.
Maybe wrap some tin foil around the antennas or whatever like we used to do in olden days.
Indeed. I'm feeling like Joaquin Phoenix now.
God damn. Thanks, LRAF, low range. What is it? Low range.
Long range audio frequency helpers.
Thanks them.
Thanks. We're back.
Yeah.
We found that ad break sound and we got rid of it, so we can just talk about video games now.
Yeah, let me smack this fly off my screen real fast. Nope,
don't hit it too hard.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to lose the podcast. All right.
Super Saiyan punch it right now.
Fist goes right through the screen.
1-900.
Bugs. Huh?
What?
Huh?
What's going on?
I don't know. Well, whatever.
We're so good at this.
Yeah, we are. Okay.
It's my turn.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's my turn.
So I talked about Chrono Cross.
Yeah, you did.
Call.
Speaking of things, my pick is I'm going to talk about a first-person shooter from back in the day again. I don't know why. The first Call of Duty Black Ops was probably the multiplayer shooter that I played the most in college, even more than Battlefield. Black Ops was like my first online multiplayer shooter. And as you level up, you unlock guns, you unlock attachments and stuff. But later on in the, I think I got to 3/4 of the way before prestiging, which is the highest level, I unlocked a gun called the Stoner 63, which is the actual name of a real life gun. And it was just so much better than anything else I'd ever used up to that point. And it wasn't even oh, now I'm better than everyone and I can kill everyone real good, because that was definitely not the case. But it just kind of felt like almost like a reward for playing through the multiplayer for that long. It was like, okay, you used all the crappy guns, you figured it out. Now here's one that's actually like really obnoxiously good. And it was so fun to just have that to miss all my shots with, because I was terrible at shooting. And that was a fun time. That was a fun time. You remember that, Aaron? You remember Black Ops?
I thought for sure this was going to go to that like unlockable text adventure game, and not this like gun that you used in.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you could break out of at the main menu, you could break out of your hand restraints or whatever.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Shout out to that main menu too, by the way. 'Cause it was
Yeah.
just like you in a chair looking at this TV or whatever. But yeah, Zork is the name of the game, and I really, really thought you were going to go with that, but you.
No, I went with a random gun that you can unlock in the multiplayer.
Really subverted my expectations there, and I like it. Thanks, Tommy.
You're welcome.
Okay.
The numbers, Mason.
What are the numbers?
My name is Victor Reznov. Is that the same game, Victor Reznov?
Man, I don't know.
Hey, Jason.
Yo,
What's
back to
your
me,
next
huh?
pick, my guy?
Hang on, let me turn off my LRAF. Okay.
Okay, I
so-
can hear you much better now.
Good. So my next unlockable here is the Mayan outfit from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's not necessarily a late game. I guess it is a late game outfit, but you had to complete 16 puzzles around the game world to unlock the Mayan outfit. And what it did was it deflected metal objects, meaning bullets. So it almost made you invincible. So you could pretty much just go nuts and go on murderous streaks and not have to worry about any of the soldiers or whatever from any of the islands and trying to shoot you and kill you, because they couldn't hit you. So you could just get in nice and close and slice them and dice them. And, it just another one of these unlockables that made you super OP and pretty much was probably the closest thing to God mode for Black Flag, one of the more beloved Assassin's Creed games, and probably my second favorite Assassin's Creed game behind Origins, I would say.
Nice. Yeah, that one was really fucking good. That came with my Xbox One back in the day, and I adored all the pirate ship battles. Those were super cool.
That's the one Assassin's Creed game I wish I would have played back in the day. I got it for like $3 at some store, but I've started it and then I just put it on the side. It wasn't GameStop.
Oh.
And I love pirates. It was like right up my alley. I need to go back to it. I need to play it.
Do it.
There's too many games to play.
Oh, for sure. I think you can play Black Flag now on like PS4 and, well, you said Xbox One, yeah, so definitely you can play it on Xbox One, PS4, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how well it runs or anything, but highly recommend.
Is it back to me now?
It's back to you now.
Back to me. All right. I got to tune into the right frequency here. How about the foam finger from Dead Space 2?
You're gonna have to explain this to me. That's a scary game.
No, I kind of vaguely remember this, but
okay, so yeah, you had to beat You had to beat Dead Space 2 on the hardest difficulty, which was a pain in the ass. But yeah, once you do, you get this this big red foam finger that's like it's shaped like a finger gun, kind of like it's got a thumb out and like the pointer finger out. It's just like an unlockable gun that kills anything in one hit. You'll see the main character Isaac running around with his foam finger on his hand, pointing at enemies, and the primary fire, instead of going like making gun sounds, the primary fire you'll hear Isaac go bang bang, and then the secondary fire he'll go pew pew pew.
I love that.
And basically it's just the greatest thing ever. You just point it at an enemy, and then he'll go pew pew pew, and then the enemy fucking explodes. Like there's no shooting them apart or like dismembering them like there would be without that gun. They just fucking explode, and it's got infinite ammo, huge fire rate. It's great. Good bucket weapon.
So what I'm hearing is scary games have the best unlocks.
Exactly.
Good to know.
On the game's wiki, it says the secondary fire, like you said, it literally says secondary fire mode. Pew pew pew.
Exactly. Pew pew pew.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so good. Hey, my next pick is kind of a gun.
Okay.
Speaking of guns, in Crash Bandicoot 3,
Holy
Wrath
Lord.
of Cortex,
You get a gun?
Wow.
you can unlock a fruit bazooka.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Because in the platforming game where you can run and jump and spin, you're gonna need a fruit bazooka too. It's just such a stupid idea that you could tell they're like, what would be super cool if we put in this game? A bazooka. You unlock it by defeating N-Jin in a boss fight or whatever, and from that point on, you can hold the left trigger, or L2, excuse me, it's L2 on the PlayStation, and it brings up a little aiming reticle on the screen, and you move it around with the stick or the D-pad, and then press the circle button to shoot. You can't move while using it, so you have to plant your feet in this platforming game.
That's usually pretty quick paced. Like you're supposed to be like running along.
Yeah. And then you plant your feet, pull out your bazooka, and shoot enemies, I guess, instead of just running and spinning them or jumping on them. It's such a dumb idea that I love so much.
You know, we've said it a million times on SuperPod Saga, and we've also said it a million times in our chats back and forth, but why isn't Crash Bandicoot in Smash? It'd be perfect! Give him the front bazooka, too!
I know.
Yeah.
Fuck it, a bazooka could be like his side B or neutral B. He has a spin attack that could be his up B maybe, or maybe his up B is like
no,
jumps on
Aaron.
one of those bouncy boxes.
No,
What?
Aaron.
Huh?
In Crash Bandicoot 3, he can learn a super spin, which if you keep tapping the spin button, he spins super fast and he can fly a little bit with it. So that would be his up B. I thought about this.
Up B.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah. And then, oh my, it's perfect. Why don't they do it? Why do they hate us?
I don't know. Why isn't it's Nintendo's fault? It has to be. I wrote
Dear
them
Nintendo.
several letters.
It's got like little teardrops on it from where you cried over. You're weeping.
Little wet marks.
Why is it crashing?
I sent a picture of Crash Bandicoot that I drew.
It's got a little diagram of him using all these different moves that you made up.
Doug Bowser gets a letter in the mail. He's like, fuck, another letter from these SuperPod Saga assholes. Whew, throws it away. Again.
Oh, man.
Speaking of guns, you have a cool gun, Jason?
Oh, yes.
It's okay if not.
I do have a cool gun. I have one of the coolest guns in video games. This is my final pick. I didn't have 5. Hope I'm not fired. But
No, you're not.
my final pick here. I think I heard you run through it earlier, actually, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's the Patriot machine gun from Metal Gear Solid 3. You get this, I guess, another spoiler alert, since this game is back in the zeitgeist now with the apparently shitty Master Collection, Volume 1. But you unlock this after defeating the last boss of the game, who is the boss. And it has an unlimited ammo. It's like a 100-round drum mag. I don't think you ever have to well, I guess you do have to reload, but you just never run out, if I remember correctly. You can use it on future playthroughs, which is always something that I appreciated about the Metal Gear Solid games. When you unlock stuff, they would, just carry over, and that kind of incentivized you to play the game again, but in a different way, which this gun certainly does. Because you could, before having this gun, Metal Gear Solid 3, you had to stealth around, you had to choose the right camos, you had to eat snakes and shit or whatever, like find fruit and trees and all the type of shit. I think you had to cook the snakes, if I remember right. But anyway, but after the Patriot, you can just snake eating snakes. After the Patriot, you can just run through the maps, the levels, and just blast everyone away for the most part. And it just made the game, again, like some of these other more powerful weapons we've been talking about, it's made it so much easier. And probably, is it better than the Alien Blaster for me and the Infinite RPG? Probably.
Ooh.
Probably. I think it might be better.
That's kind of, I guess I would think so too, because it basically you'd have to go normally pretty fucking slow through Metal Gear Solid, but instead, you can just run through it with that. Whereas like Fallout and other game, you would just like run through anyway. Resident Evil 5, that's still those ones. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do an unlockable too, because your first playthrough is going to be like you experience everything, figuring everything out, trying to solve the puzzles and beat the bosses. So giving you something to let you go through it a second time just to experience everything again, but faster, A+ in my book.
I agree.
It's okay. And you said that was your last one, Jason?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Tommy and I will do one more. I've got a good last one to throw us out. Have either of you guys ever played Mega Man X?
No, Aaron. I've
No.
never played a Mega Man.
No, same.
Okay, well, so Mega Man X is a little
Mega
bit
Man's
different.
for nerds.
Yeah,
Hey.
I only play good video games.
Oh shit! Okay, well now I feel attacked.
Definitely
Fine.
not seminal games like Mega Man, but anyway, go
Well,
on.
I'm just not going to talk about it anymore. Fine. No, I'm just kidding. Well, yeah, so Mega Man X was like the original Mega Man was just run and gun platformer. You go through levels, get to a boss, and then repeat. But Mega Man X had some really well hidden collectibles in the state. Well, not collectibles, but like upgrades in different levels. Like you could find energy tanks, health upgrades. You could find upgrades to your armor that let you do like a double jump and like new weapons and shit like that. And one of the probably like hardest things to unlock, well, of course, yeah, hard. You can unlock the Hadoken from Street Fighter in Mega Man. So you had to collect all the upgrades in the game, all weapons, armor, sub tanks, all that shit. And then you had to play through a level 5 times in a row. Same level 5 times over and over. Once you start it a 6th time, you'll be greeted by a hologram of Dr. Light or whoever the fuck, and he'll be like, "Here, have this," and then you'll unlock the Hadouken, and you can only use it when you have like full health or something, but it kills almost anything in like one shot, bosses included, and it's super cool that they crossed over Mega Man with Street Fighter, and yeah, that's rad as hell.
That is rad as hell, Aaron.
Even though Mega Man's for a fucking nerd. Sorry
It's
for
a
being
baby
nerd.
game for babies.
That's not a real gun.
Oh, sounds really cool.
It is cool.
My last pick is from a video game called Super Smash Bros. Melee.
A good video game.
Good video game for adults.
quote unquote good video game.
It was unlocking Mewtwo because
Okay.
Ooh.
it came out. That game was from 2001 when the internet was just like a little baby, so we didn't actually like. There were all kinds of rumors around video games and how to do stuff, like the truck getting Mew in the Pokemon games and all those Mario things. And so I heard or read somewhere that you have to play the game for 20 hours. So if you just leave your GameCube on or leave Smash on for 20 hours and unlocks Mewtwo. And I was like, okay, sure. And I tried it. And after the 20 hours, like, ended the match, and it's like a new foe has appeared, and it's Mewtwo, and I'm like, oh, it was real. And I just haven't experienced anything like that.
Those are the best unlocks. Like, not to sound old, not to date ourselves, but it was just different back then. You'd have to talk about something with a friend at school or read it in a magazine or whatever, and just different. But anyway, now that I've made myself old as fuck to everybody listening, so.
No, we're all old here. We're ancient.
Yeah, we're dinos here.
Just like another one like that was in Pokemon Gold. There was the duplicating glitch when you turn off the Game Boy when it's in the middle of saving. That was another thing that was like, that can't be real. There's no way that would be real. And also, it's probably going to erase my game because
it's playing with
turning
fire.
it off exactly when it tells me not to. And when I first turned it back on and had 2 Tyrannitars, I was like, this is magic.
Yeah,
this is wonderful.
The rumors were true.
One of my favorites from Smash Bros is probably from like the original Smash Bros on 64, being able to unlock Luigi, but like you have to do it you have to break the targets with all the starter characters and shit, and that was pretty cool.
I forgot about that one. That is a good one.
There was oh my god. I want to look at the ones for Melee. That one had a lot of good ones. I think to get Falco, you had to beat 100-man Melee with anybody, and then man, I miss when games actually had unlockable characters and didn't unlock everything for you like right away, like the big fucking babies we are.
And all those random modes that were just like, I don't know, go beat some targets up. Here's 100-man Melee, just go nuts.
Yeah, hey, guess what? If you do that, if you do that, here's Falco. There you go.
I remember because I was a single child in a small town. I would just set up the Smash Bros tournaments, so it was all CPU, and I would just watch the fights and record everything and stats and stuff because I'm a cool guy.
I too must be cool because I did that with Soulcalibur too, Tommy.
Yeah, but in Smash Bros Ultimate, I just had that memory, and I was like, oh, I want to do that again. Let's relive my childhood. And so I set it all up, and I hit start, and it just simulated all the matches. I didn't even get to watch them. It was just like all the characters beating each other, and then it was done. And I was like, no, my childhood.
And another letter went out to Doug Bowser.
Yeah, another letter to Doug Bowser.
Tommy's got all.
It's like Steve Buscemi in that one Adam Sandler movie. Can't remember what it is.
Waterboy.
Is it where he's got Mr. Deeds?
No, I'm just saying random ones.
Might be Mr. Deeds.
Where he has like the Oreo and Gumballs pizza or something. Oreos and Gumballs, my favorite. I imagine when how do you say Reggie's last name again? Fils-Aimé?
Fils-Aimé.
Oh, I'm going to say Phil Zane because that's what I've always referred to him as. Reggie Phil Zane. I imagine when he retired and when Doug Bowser came in to replace him, Reggie was like, oh, and also there's this complete fucking lunatic, Tommy, who keeps mailing us letters and complaining about things. There's like, I imagine there's this like old gray like filing cabinet with a whole row for like all of your requests for remastering Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, and there's like another one where you're like, they
listen to that one.
My friend Aaron wants you to bring back Custom Robo. And
I don't know what that is, but he seems to like it.
He says it's a quote unquote good game.
P.S. Or like a P.S. It sounds like trash, but he wants it, so do it or something. I don't know.
I actually did when I was a kid. I sent an email to the Coca-Cola Corporation.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, if you mix Coke and Sprite, it tastes really good. You should make it into an actual product. And they responded. They sent me an email back. And they're
awesome.
like, we appreciate your input. We have people that are in charge of those things.
Yeah, we have people to do this for a fucking living, kid.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a coupon. Nice, but it was basically like, no.
Yeah.
Dear Tommy, our chemist tried this and it tasted like ass. But we'll keep you in consideration.
One of them dropped dead on the spot.
Oh Lord! Oh, that's good. Coke and Sprite does sound good though. Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds like a what is it? Like a gin and tonic kind of thing. No, I don't know what the fuck. No, gin is
that's
gross.
exactly what I thought when I was a kid. I was like, this is just like gin and tonic.
Holy shit!
And then he became Don Draper.
When are we gonna get a Mad Men video game? That's what I want to know.
Shut up.
Penning my letter to Doug Bowser.
Yeah, Nintendo exclusive. The Nintendo exclusive Mad Men game. Or Blue Bloods. What's another like obscure like that show? Oh, what's that stupid one? Burn Notice?
Burn Notice.
Had the old lady that smokes a cigarette in every scene. That was
a joke about Lost, but they made a Lost video game.
They did.
Okay.
Great show, by the way.
Oh, my favorite show of all time.
Wow.
I think we brought this one up on our very first episode, but they made a Bachelor game for the Wii.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Oh, they should make so like, you know how they did. We're getting so off topic, but I don't
really
care.
are. Sorry about that.
It's okay. That's what we do every episode. You know how they did that, like Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got to do that, but with Golden Girls, because there's 4 of them, right? Betty White, the ugly one,
Aaron.
the fancy one, and the really old one. Yeah.
I have bad news.
What?
Someone was making a Golden Girls JRPG.
Yeah, like Persona. Oh,
they canceled it. They didn't have the time to dedicate to finishing it.
Oh man, I just remember.
I would have played. That would have been my first JRPG, unironically.
Golden Girls.
Damn it! I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah,
I'm out of steam.
This is gonna be the end of the show. Jason, where can people find you and your podcast again? Give them one more in case they skipped over the beginning.
Plug. Yeah. They'll probably skip over the end for sure, but you can find my show, the Dual Sense Podcast. It's a weekly PlayStation show on all the usual podcast services. Apple. What's the other one? Spotify, YouTube, of course. On social media, we go by @TheDualSensePod. Pretty much everywhere. If you want to see me write some shit about video games and review video games, you can find me over at GamingNexus.com. Most recently reviewed a PSVR 2 game called Vampire the Masquerade Justice.
Oh.
And I'm currently reviewing a couple of games. One is the Modern Warfare 3, and another one is a bit of a secret for a few more days. So anyway, yeah, you can find me all those places and check me out. Check us out.
Yes, check Jason out. Thank you for being here, Jason. You're a wonderful
Thank you guys
guest.
for having me. Yeah, it was an honor. It was an honor and a pleasure, and a lot of fun, of course.
Excellent. Oh, I love hearing that it's fun. Aaron, where can people find more SuperPod Saga gooey goodness?
If they need more meaty, chunky, stewy SuperPod Saga goodness, you can drive yourself on down to the library, pay like $2 to use their internet, and go to superpodsaga.com. Previous episodes, blog, socials. If you enjoy the show and you want to support us, support page, Patreon, $2 or $4 a month, bonus episodes, all that jazz. Maybe even a sticker. We're thinking about giving out stickers too, because I have a whole stack.
Free stickers if you pay us money.
You can put them on anything. You put them on a turtle if you want to. I don't care.
Put them on your screen, right in the middle of your monitor.
Put them on a letter to Doug Bowser.
Doug Bowser.
Oh, do you think he would do that?
This is going to turn into something bad if we become actually a big podcast.
Do you think if we like sent an email? No, I guess a letter to Doug Bowser, and we were like, "Hey, Doug, we want to be the official like Nintendo." No, not Nintendo pod. I like other not Nintendo. Never mind. No.
Good idea, Aaron. That's a good
okay.
one.
Thanks.
If you want more good ideas from us, check out our social media. Check out Jason's stuff because he's got cool stuff. And keep playing video games. Keep on rocking on. You guys are the best. Thanks, listeners. Have a great day. Bye.
Yep.
Wait,
Bye.
no. Hold on. Don't leave. No,
Yeah.
Don't leave. Everyone,
What?
come back. Do you guys want to know what we're going to talk about next week?
Yeah.
Except Jason, because Jason won't be back next week. We are going to talk about space games, video games in space.
Yes. Finally.
It's time. I've had it in my Google Doc for months.
The time has come.
I don't even have to do research for this one because I already did it months ago. Look forward to that, people. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Jason, say bye.
Oh, goodbye, everyone. Have a lovely day.
Keep on keeping on.